Hello everyone, welcome to xfactortrader.com's technical analysis video. Let's go right into the SPY. Today is Monday, April 7th, 2014. Let's get right to these charts. In the last video on Friday, I called this as a very bearish engulfing candle, and sure enough, you get more downside price action today on Monday. Nice volume as well, so watch for this. I think it should pause right here. I told you this was the range. The 50-day moving average was your range, and this was the highs. Whenever you fail to break out, that's where the bears get encouraged, and they might have a chance to take advantage of a new trend. And this is a short-term trend up. Now this is your short-term trend down. Now let's see if we break this trend line right here, and which was support here, which is really right in the 50-day. So this is going to be the very important area right here, the 50-day moving average. So if you want to be a bear, if you have a bear bias, you want to see it make a bear flag here, kind of just float sideways here, not getting any kind of meaningful bounce, and then you can play it short. And I think you can get a run really to the 150-day or to the 200-day moving average. You can't rule that out. Notice that we've just been riding these moving averages now. If that breaks to the downside with conviction, you wait for a pattern and you wait for a bear flag to go short. Right now, I think the market needs to probably just pause here and see. And maybe if we get a doji, maybe we can get continue to bounce in this range. But right now, we are at support. We got a nice 2-day run or a 2-day move to the downside. Not much to make out of it right here. This is going to be support. Doesn't mean it's going to hold. I mean, the 20 was support, but didn't hold because these are all minor. I've been telling you this is cutting through it multiple times. So it's just minor. The moving averages are just real minor support at the moment. You could play them as minor intraday movements. Like right now, the 10-minute chart. If you played that just off the 50-day right here, you got nice little doji candles right here that told you to go long. But right now, it's coming back in. So that's just a minor intraday level. For daily daily chart or a swing trade basis, I've been calling out the 200. Okay, so anywhere in the 200, that's where you want to go long right now. Keep it short term as technical traders. Just play it off the 50-day moving average as a little bounce play right there, but that's all you can get out of it. So to me, I'm looking for a pause day tomorrow. Called out this bearish engulfing candle beautifully on my last video. Check it out. It was posted Friday. So these candlesticks are very important. They can pretty much tell the future. And I was able to call that this market was in trouble after this fake out, breakout, and a bearish engulfing candle taking out 3-4 days of the previous gain. So that's a very easy signal to read. Let's go to the IWM. Same thing here. Caught a little bit of support here. Got an intraday bounce. Just a little intraday bounce here off Friday's move down, and now you're getting follow through to the downside. You're looking for the 200. That's all you're looking for right here. You're looking for the 200, and I think it might even bounce here or pause here because it's not really ever testing it. It's kind of hovering just above the 200, riding this 150-day moving average. So we are testing that 150-day moving average here. I think it needs probably a pause day. Maybe congestion, a little bit of congestion. They already got a little bit of congestion after a 3-day bar move. Probably needs to stall out here. Let me see if it makes some narrow candles here. Maybe get another counter trend bounce. You can play to the upside for another few days. But it's been up, a few days up, few days down. So that's pretty much the pattern right now. And that's the IWM. Not really much to go there. If it hits the 200-day moving average, you got some more major support there. But right now, I think it's due for just a pause day on the IWM. Let's look at the Qs. Same thing, catching 150 days, so not much to make out of it. You can make a case that it wants to make a probably longer term, maybe a bigger head and shoulder pattern here. So if we draw this, this is, it's not been developed yet, but this potentially could be the pattern that's making. I like to you like to see a left shoulder here, big head, and if it gets some kind of support here, and it might be right here, the neckline might be even over here. So we don't know yet until it makes the actual pivot. So if you are a bear, these are some of the patterns you just look for. Okay, so this could be potential neckline. If we do bounce here, kind of call that out, and kind of like Facebook, how Facebook had it. Some of these, the darling stocks of the past few years. When you see them rolling over like that, it's kind of a telltale sign that this market wants to pull back. See a nice little head and shoulder here, really small one. It's making a bigger one. Same thing. So it made a small one here. Call that out. Not the same pattern I'm talking about now, but this one could be also head and shoulder. You got a little head here, big wide head, and let's see where it makes a pivot here. If it makes a pivot here, it could be already over here, Facebook. So we have to just watch how the pattern develops and play it from there. But that's I called out Facebook's level here, and gap fill didn't quite get there. I'd like to see it go a little bit lower, around 53. It actually went to a low of, I went to 55.44, so it didn't quite get there. So we might see the bounce already. just right at gap. This is also at the high, the pivot high here. So it caught support, was resistance, now support. So I would like it if it went right to the $53 level. Would have been a beautiful spot to go long. The measure move does take you a little bit lower. So Netflix was another long opportunity that I called out to the long side. That pretty much got within $1 of my buy level, and you got a nice bounce already. Got a nice little doji, good volume too. This is a buy right now. I mean, if you already started nibbling around the 330-ish area, 320, this is really your buy entry right here. Anywhere in here is really good for a swing right now. I'm already accumulating it. I already have some of it already, so I have a nice intraday gain on it already. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I think the market has a good chance to pause or bounce. So I think these stocks like Netflix have a good chance for 1 to 2 day bounce. You also have previous resistance here. This was a previous high, right? And now it's coming back into as a support level here. So these three red lines, gap fill, wide range weekly bar here. You got a doji there too. So anywhere in this level is still a nice buy opportunity. You already got a nice little bounce already. So hopefully you guys took some off here. This was the level right here. Went right to the low was 331.11. So just $1 off my buy level. And got a nice bounce already. So let's see if it comes in a little bit more. I'm ready to accumulate more if it comes into this level. I'll be accumulating more as it comes into this level. I think it needs a good bounce here. But notice it is a breakdown level too. So play it short term. It is oversold though. Keep that in mind. But this could be a trend line breakdown as well. So you always got to be cautious when you have a trend line breakdown. Just always anticipate it could break down the measured move based off the pattern. Okay, so now it'll take you pretty much to just roughly estimating to 245. So watch out. If this is the trend line breakdown, it could break down a lot further. But you have a 200 moving average here. You made a doji, so I think it's actually a good opportunity to play to the long side for a week or maybe a few days. Okay, so play short term, you'll be fine there. Netflix, another awesome call right there. I posted this in the free trade alerts at xfactortrader.com. So if you guys caught that, you guys are swimming in some beautiful profits. Gap fill, 200-day moving average. I said you hardly see charts like this. Okay, it's a very good buying opportunity. On the weekly chart, you also have the 50-week moving average right there. So when you add up, and you can kind of you're pretty much not oversold quite yet on the stochastics on the weekly chart, but you are pretty much in that general vicinity. So you are anticipating a nice bounce here on Netflix. Okay, posted this at xfactortrader.com. If you probably just nibbled a little bit early, you could have been in the money beautifully right now, about $7, and you got a pretty much intraday bounce to about 340, I believe. So yeah, it made a high, 340. So that's almost a $10 gain on Netflix in roughly 2 hours. So that's a beautiful level. Once you know how to read these levels, you can really profit. And you might, like I said, you can hold that probably for a week or so or a few days. Okay, on Netflix. Let's go Google. Google didn't hit. Just another chart that's breaking down. Nice little spinning top candle, but it didn't hit the 200. If it hit the 200, and it didn't. What troubles me, it made a nice little candle here, but it did not recapture this pivot low here. If it made a doji here on top of it, recaptured it, and yeah, I think it has a good chance. But this is really ugly on Google right now. It probably wants to make another bear flag, to be honest, and then hit the 200. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, I think that's why I'm calling for a bounce, a short-term pause, bounce in the next day or two, just based off some of these candles that I see that they're making, like Google and Netflix, making nice little candles here. But Google, I don't like it to the long side right now, just because it didn't recapture this. And it might recapture it, but gotta watch for the pattern. If it makes another pattern like this, you could probably play it to the short side, actually, to the 200, I believe. But it's oversold right now, so I think it's due for at least a pause minimally or a little bounce. Okay, on Google. Let's go over a weekly chart really fast and see what kind of a if it hit the 50-week moving average, kind of more closer like Netflix did, was very close to the 50-week moving average. But this is just still the first day of the week, so let's see how it plays out on the weekly chart. We'll check that again on the Friday close of this week. Let's go to Ford. That bear flag failed, but it could be actually, I have to reevaluate the chart, but right now I said I rate it as a neutral, but this head and shoulder failed. But if you could actually, like I've been calling out, you could actually make a case that this is another head and shoulder pattern forming here, and it's just making one big head. And as you can see, a lot of these charts are kind of making the same pattern. So this could be a big rounded head, and you have a nice little small shoulder here. So let's see if this is the right shoulder here. It makes it smart. So you still have a downside bearish bias. But just have to wait for the pattern to form. If it breaks this red line, this could be a potential another neckline right here. So you draw out the neckline over here, the left head right here. I'm sorry, the left shoulder, and this is your head right here. Big rounded head. So there's always patterns within patterns. So this is a left shoulder here, big head, and let's see if it makes that additional shoulder here. This has also failed, so I can just kind of use this as a right shoulder right here and see if it breaks here. Okay, not the prettiest. It's kind of dirty and ugly, but you know, it's sloppy. But you know, this bear flag, I don't like it anymore. I'm sorry, any longer. The weekly chart, it still looks okay. It still looks okay. I wish it didn't, you know, close back above these moving averages, but you know, it's still actually, it's really riding right on and right here. See, if you go by the close, it still can be considered a bearish pattern, just not as clean, in my opinion. It's a little more sloppy, but it definitely could still play out. Let me get rid of this, you know, imaginary shoulder so I can just see the pattern better. See this? It's still, you know, it's not as clean. You'll see every down move. It's not as clean. It didn't actually close above the 50, and it's kind of coming back in, but the head and shoulder, it's kind of mixed signals here because your head and shoulder failed, and you got a big wide green bar. So in order for this to break, you know, just watch this neckline. Just watch this little trend line here. You can make a case it's right here. Just watch this trend line and see which way it wants to break. And it's just not the prettiest of patterns right now. There's other patterns to be had at the moment, like the long side on Netflix and Facebook. I like those better. That's why I stopped out on this forward chart, but you know, we'll come back to it later when it presents a more clear pattern. Okay, let's go to let's look at Tesla really fast. See if we can get a nice little chart to pull up here. Tesla, not much, you know, just riding. You know, we got a baby bounce off the 50-day moving average. Come back down. Hey, if this comes lower, this can come a lot lower based off this current. If this is an ABC pattern, it could test the 200. So I'm looking for the 200 to be tagged. A lot of these stocks are just hitting these 200s. Pretty simple stuff. But notice that you're hovering over this previous high. So watch that. It's going to be an important level on Tesla as well. That's going to be the 194-ish area, which was the high over here. Pretty much the 194 and 23. 194.50, let's say. Okay, let's go. What else do we have here really quick before I take off on this fine evening? Let's look at CELG. CELG, I called a nice little head and shoulder pattern. See how that's playing out on the short side. So pull that chart up. And CELG, yep, playing out very beautifully. It's getting a nice little bounce here, a little small bounce, but you know, this pattern is picture perfect. You know, when you get more clear, this is more of a prettier head and shoulders. It's very, very clear cut. Huge shoulder, huge head, huge shoulder. That's what you want to see. You know, Ford's was a little sloppy. Now I don't like it as much, but you know, that Ford head and shoulder still could be forming, but this is the head and shoulder pattern you want to see. You want to see it consolidate on that neckline and break down and retest it, and a 200 retest. You know, and another sloping 20-day moving average and 50. This is the ideal setup you want to see for a head and shoulder pattern to play. You want to see the head and shoulder neckline to break, and then make a nice little bearish retracement to the neckline, pull back to the neckline, and then start to fall. So this is a very nice. But notice you're oversold, so you know it's always prudent to take profits on the way down and then reshort it on the bounce. Okay, see if it ultimately hits target, which on this chart is currently at 120. Okay, on CELG. So look for that target to get hit on the downside. Okay, on CELG. Is there anything else I want to take a look at really quick? It's got to be something else. Apple caught resistance at the upper trend line that I mentioned before, right here. Try to consolidate above it. You know, it didn't make a form a nice pattern, but it's come back in. So watch out for Apple on the downside. You know, I like the 200 here, but it's minor now. But not much to do, nothing on Apple. Really, the plays that I liked, they already bounced. Facebook's getting a nice bounce before my level, but Netflix was really the awesome call this week. Gap fill, 200-day moving average, no brainer. I think it has more upside potential in the next coming days. Okay, guys. I think that's everything I want to take a look at, guys. Please check out xfactortrader.com. Look under the free tab for a 15-day free trial and the free trade alerts. I'm going to continue to put out those free trade alerts like Netflix. Okay, Facebook's also a nice little bounce area as well. So watch out for those. I will continue to update you guys with free trade alerts. Profits already on Netflix, so watch out for more to come. Check us out, xfactortrader.com. 15-day free trial for swing traders and investors. I will talk to you guys later. Check us out. Okay, guys? Talk to you guys later. Have a great night.